Bam! It's time for a review. Spooktober is over, folks, but you know what? I just couldn't get rid of the zombies, so you're gonna have to forgive me for a little bit. We're gonna be moving into a bit of a Fallout phase here on the BAM Reviews channel, and it's gonna be about the eradication of the zombies, but not yet. It's gonna be rebuilding. I'm gonna try to theme some of the figures that I show and some of the reviews that I do to be of the Fallout variety. But for now, though, we're gonna stick with the tried and true. All right, the figures that I have to show today are of no exception. We're going to be looking at the Crimson Shadow Infantry and Desert Condor from Valaverse. Let me zoom out a little bit. Yeah, man. All right, so what I wanted to talk about a little bit here, and this guy's falling apart, so we'll just take this thing off. So there's his stand underneath there. So what I wanted to talk about is Valaverse's Wounded offerings on their website. You can go to valaverse.com and you can pick up, these are both Series 4 figures, I believe. I know Condor Series 4. I think the Crimson Shadow Infantry is also Series 4. You can pick up wounded versions of these characters, of their action figures, and they get shipped to you like this. And as you see, there's no card back, right? So the figure is intact. He's in good shape, so it's almost as if, you know, he's new, but it's just missing. It might be opened. Some of the pieces might be loose, but you get a functional action figure for a cheaper cost. So I think I paid for the Crimson Shadow Infantry. This is when he was like brand new, so I was surprised to see that he went up on the Wounded Warehouse. I think I paid $24.95 for him. And if you know about these Valaverse figures, they range from the $29.99 to $30 and plus. And I think I paid something similar for Desert Condor. You might be able to pick him up for $19.99 now in the Wounded Warehouse. But this is good for people who open their action figures, obviously. If you want to keep them on card back, then you got to go with the more expensive prices. You know how BAM does it, man? I want to play with my toys. So I try to rip these things open. And if they're helping me, let's do it. All right, I'm going to move on. Let's go ahead and get these guys out of their plastic prisons. And here they are in their plastic prisons. Now, I know they were kind of already in their plastic prison, but I figured I would just hit on this real quick. Here's what you're looking at for the Crimson Shadow Infantry. A lot of goodness here, man. Hey, doesn't look wounded anymore, does he? Not too shabby. Bunch of hands. All right, we're going to rip him open in just a second. Oh, something fell out. And then here's Desert Condor. He doesn't want to stand up, so he's got a nice yelling face, which, you know, I like those because, you know, you can have them running from zombies and stuff and just getting generally terrorized. And that's pretty cool in toy form. Another extra head there that can be used, a lot of variety. Turns this guy into a builder of sorts, an army builder. You can put this on him, and then you got your generic desert trooper, you know? Not too shabby. All right, man. So that's the end of the plastic prison. You see these little twisty ties, man. They suck. Let's go ahead and get these guys ripped out. And here they are. You can see all the accessories. It looks like they're tied on hands because there's two hands in this bag over here. This is a pretty ample offering here from Action Force, from Valaverse. They've got a lot of accessories here. I'm kind of shocked at how much has come with these guys. Now, I have not touched them. I brought them out of the packaging and I just kind of stood them up. So now it's time for the Gummy test. All right, the Gummy test is when BAM, he looks at these action figures and he sees how difficult it is to move the joints and whatnot to see if he's going to get really angry. So let's see how we do. All right, let's start the Gummy test with Desert Condor. All right, first thing we do on the Gummy test is we try crazy legs. All right, so when I pick him up, shake his legs. Oh, got a little bit of shake there. I don't know. His upper half seems a little loose. Not too bad, though. I've seen worse. All right, let's do the Shadow Infantry. He is tight. He is really, really tight. There's like no move whatsoever. His torso seems... Oh, man. Moving his torso is smooth like butter, baby. All right, let's go ahead and let's keep on going here and see what we can do with this. All right, let's check the arms. Now, some of these Valaverse figures, especially Series 1, you have to be real careful about them breaking when you immediately try to move them. All right, the butterfly joint is activating, which is nice. Not as smooth as the recent Ghost Viper from Hasbro. Check out my BAM Reviews channel. I just did a review of that bad boy. He's right there. In the last review, he was real smooth, getting the joints moved. This seems to be okay. All right. Not too bad. Not as smooth. Oh, this is pretty locked over here. No. All right, man. You might benefit from putting these guys in the drink. All right, now to the legs. Now, one thing I wanted to point out is look at all of these bombs. All of these grenades, they come out, which is absolutely insane. Look at that. You can throw each individual little grenade. And these canisters over here, again, these all come out, folks. Man, that is crazy. That is a crazy amount of accessories. Look at that. Probably 3D printed, I would imagine. But that is cool. This guy is kitted out. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. Alright, yeah. He's definitely not kicking his own booty. Oh man, that was scary. Did you hear that? Oof. He's turned pretty much as far as he's gonna go, I think. That's about what you're getting there for the articulation in the leg with the Crimson Shadow Infantry. Ooh, man, there's some ratchets going on in here. All right, man. I'd give it, on the old Gummy scale, I think I'd give it like a B. If A is the best, we'll say S rank is the best. I'm giving this a B. All right, let's move on to old Condor here. Whoop, Ghost Viper down. That's better. It's so hard to get good actors around here. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's look at Desert Condor. He's got a little bit of the crazy legs going on. Let's just skip right to the legs. Oof. Oh, man. Bam getting weak in his old age. You know what I'm saying? All right, that's about as far as we get. He can't kick his own booty, but he can get relatively close. I would probably, recommend that you put these in the drink. There's the butterfly joint activating. Arms are a little tight. Butterfly joint over there. This dude's yelling. Look at him. And I'm just hitting the camera. All kinds of craziness is going on. All right, this guy also has some accessories. Look at this. Knife just comes right out. They were all there. I did not put these in. All these clips come out. These ones down here do not. That's okay. His sidearm there. Alright, man. This guy, I would also give him a B on the Gummy scale. I would definitely recommend that you probably put him in the drink. Seeing some of the nightmare stories online about some of these figures just like snapping instantly when moving, it's, I would recommend put him in the drink. These guys, it is what it is. All right, that's Desert Condor. All right, let me go ahead and gear these guys out in my optimal gear strategy. Be right back. And here we go. They're all geared out. All right, let's start with the Crimson Shadow Infantry. Now, I really like this, man. One thing that Action Force does really well with their figures is all of these accessories, right? And look at this hand. You can actually attach this hand, and then it allows you to put it right under the gun, right? That looks so natural, the way that he's holding that gun. I really like it. He's got his pistola back there. Is that a clip that comes out? This clip comes out too, I think. They were, you pay more for these action figures, right? But I think you get a lot more value in the accessory department, and I think this figure shows that pretty well. Look at the night vision goggles he's got going on there. Really cool. I love the black, red, and gray camo pattern going on here. Really cool, man. So, zombie outbreak. Whole world's about to be destroyed. We send in the special ops troops to get out the remaining survivors. And somehow Desert Condor. Alright, he's got his rifle there, and I put his little knife in his hand. He's got that yelling face on. He has a bunch of other accessories as well over here. Multiple hands. He also comes with with these cupped hands, so you could do the same thing. You could put it under the gun barrel, which I like that a lot. That is a nice little accessory there. You can turn him into an army builder by putting this generic head on there. You could use the helmet just like that. Not too shabby. Alright, man. This is really cool. Alright, let's move into a rating for these figures. Alright, as far as a rating, the first thing we need to start with is engineering, articulation, paint applications, etc. Obviously, this is a thumbs up, folks. They are just dripping with accessories. I have two little baggies with all the accessories. I put them away now. I don't like all the accessories on the table. It gets kind of out of control. But these guys are dripping with paint apps, dripping with accessories. I really like that. The engineering's pretty good. They didn't break when I opened them, which is amazing. But I would definitely recommend putting them in some hot water when you first open them in order so you can get those joints activated. I'm reviewing toys, so if it's going to break, it's got to break for the video, you know what I'm saying? But these did pretty good. Alright, moving right along to affordability. Now, as I often say, this is the elephant in the room. Valaverse figures tend to be on a little bit on the pricey side. Now, I've heard they've increased. Bobby Vala has decreased the price overall of Action Force figures here. If you try to grab these on the Wounded Warehouse, go to Valaverse.com, look for the Wounded Warehouse. This is a perfectly good figure, and so is Condor. And I got them on sale because they were just an open package. So I definitely recommend that. So as far as price here, I'm going to say with all these accessories and everything, I'm going to give them a thumbs up. Definitely look out for them. Ooh, I almost knocked him over. Definitely look out for them on the Wounded Warehouse. You can snag some really great deals. If you have no Valaverse right now, they're doing mystery boxes. It sounds like I'm a Valaverse shill, but I'm really not. I'm a G.I. Joe fan at heart, and these are just bleeding G.I. Joe to me. So there it is. If you go to the Valverse website right now, they have mystery boxes where if you have purchased no Action Force figures, you can buy a mystery box and you'll get a smorgasbord of value of figures, and then that'll start your collection. All right, man. I think it's pretty easy to say that this is a thumbs up. If you can afford it, if your collection can grow beyond G.I. Joe Classified, right? These fit very well with G.I. Joe Classified. I'll go ahead and line up a figure here so you can see what I'm saying. I mean, it's pretty much perfect, man. And I'll grab a zombie. That's a Monster Force on the left. And the G.I. Joe Classified on the right. As you see there, Action Force fits right in. So you have your Monster Force figures here. It's a new kid on the block as far as this genre is considered. You've got G.I. Joe Classified, which is your standard tried and true, and Action Force. They all play nice together, folks. That's pretty much it for this one, folks. This has been a BAM review. Don't forget to hit me with that like and subscribe. Take care of your boy Bam, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to end this one off with a photo shoot, show some of these figures, and, a little bit less lighting so we can get some spooky shots going. But this has been a BAM review. I'm Bam, and I'm out. See you next time. Know what I'm saying?